Joining me here is one of Uganda's best kept secrets, a self-taught saxophonist. Isaiah Katumwa has overcome incredible odds to become a gem of a jazz player. Welcome, Isaiah.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for joining us on Turning Point.
Thank you.
Now,
Great honor.
you are easily the biggest name in jazz here in Uganda. How did it start for you?
The journey of jazz actually in Uganda is very interesting because there was never like jazz. When I came back with an idea from the UK where I went to study, of course I'd done this before, and it was incredible. Nobody was interested in jazz. I mean, so I had to do a lot of instrumentation or instrumentals based on the songs that they knew.
Right.
I tried that within our studio. So every sound that I had that I was trying to compete with or try to imitate was way better in terms of quality, and we didn't have that. So we moved to the UK with my family just to try to improve that, learn a bit of sound engineering, what I did in the UK, and that's when I recorded my first album that broke out.
Right.
So that was the beginning.
So now, as a musician, you're trying to make new music. People don't necessarily get it how you want them to. It can be a little soul destroying. Where was your faith in all this? Where was the Jesus factor in all this?
I think my story and the background that I had was all full of Jesus, and whatever I wanted to become, I knew that it was Jesus that was going to enable me to become. And one of the things that I had to be true to was to be myself, even as I was creating the music. And up to now, my brand runs through my Christian faith, my African identity, and my musical passion. So, which is African Smooth and Divine, I like to call it. So that, I had to be true to that, because that's the only way I can stand out, because I'm really true to what I feel, as opposed to what I may hear outside there. So I knew that my prayers would be backed up by the real sense of being true to myself before God, you know.
Now, of course, a lot of us, when we think about you, we think the Jonathan Butler of Uganda, because there's that jazz part of you and there's a faith part of you that's very well known, and then success in some popular music too. Recently, you were in concert with Jonathan Butler. What was that like?
It was amazing, because I think, again, like you said, he's one of the people that helps me assure me that what I'm doing is right. I mean, it's very delicate for you to venture out into the mainstream and then remain true to your faith, especially to the perception of people who are going to be critical. But what was amazing is that for me, he's been the person I've looked at for many years, and now actually being on the same stage with him and connect with me, very humble, it was amazing. It was really, it was from God. It's like God assuring me that you're there, you're doing a good job, and you're on the right track.
There are many things that you do, one of which I'm sure a lot of people don't know about yet. You work with young people and mentor them. Tell us, why did you start doing that?
I've been doing a certain program, going into schools and inspiring people, because there are two sides of the story. I've been in ministry for a long time, and one of the things that I decided to do is actually to encourage and challenge people to walk the gospel. I mean, it's beyond the church. How do you touch people without having, getting out of the church? Use your gift, use your profession, use your career to touch lives. And my story, again, there are many places that I would never have been if it wasn't for God. And there are many opportunities I wished for when I was a young man. I didn't get them. And I think that I went through that for God to take me through that in order to help somebody who would be able to be blessed through it. So my program is called Isaiah Katumwa Beyond Music, and I encourage people, my fans, who are always excited, there's something more beyond the music you listen to and you love, that if you are a fan, come identify with what I'm passionate about, touching lives and changing lives.
One of the things I found unique about this mentoring program of yours is, because of course when you mention mentoring, everyone thinks they have an idea of what it is, but you care for these young people, you pay for their education and stick in music. How so?
Uh, I think many times we've been helping people and trying to, to reach out, but the motive becomes more about the attention that you get that you're doing this, especially big brands and big personalities. I I like to point that into ministry and inspiring, pushing these young people to understand that whatever I'm doing for you, you should do it for somebody else. And these are gifted people. They're talented. And so beyond, again, I don't believe in someone just doing music. So I take them to school to understand you need to have a career. But as you do your music, you need to understand that all this is together because of God. So whatever you do, do it in the perspective that God expects you to do. And that is through giving, mentoring, and changing lives. Because if one changed the other, I mean, there would be a big significance, even though you are starting on small things. So it's more about the seed that I'm sowing in that.
One last thing I want to ask you, because you're starting the first ever jazz radio station in Uganda called Jazz FM.
Uganda,
Tell us about what your hope is for that station.
Again, if you listen to radio stations, I don't know about the US or UK or wherever, but here there's a lot of conversations and talks, and people want to listen to cool jazz and just relax. And also in this whole process of trying to encourage people to be open to another sound, which is more jazz, I think this is a station that will attract many people's attention because it's different. It's unique, especially for the fact that we are localizing the sound, trying to make it more as relatable with as possible.